Here at the London Design Summit, I'm joined by Christy Younger from Goddard Littlefair, and the project that we're talking about now is a private apartment in Belgravia, which I gather is a kind of an elite sort of location in London. Is that right?
Absolutely. This location is all about postcode. Yeah.
And that's okay. That's the location. So therefore, you were approached by a client to redesign their apartment. So tell me about this project.
We were approached by a private client who is a high-end international family client with 2 young teenagers who's approached us to work off the back of apartments we've previously worked on the base build. And then they've come to us for the penthouse and asked us to put forward a penthouse a full dress scheme.
What does that mean, to put forward a full dress scheme?
It means to put in all of the specialty touches, the luxury levels of layers, and to create an ambience and an atmosphere that's ready to move into and live in and love.
And what is it that the client wants out of an organisation like Goddard Littlefair? Describe a bit about that collaboration or how that connection works.
That's a very good question. So that connection is basically the collaboration between us and the private client is actually being able for us to realize what their brief is and what they're seeing in their mind and making it real and bringing the dream to a vision.
So they know that they want to do something, but they may not necessarily have had a very firm brief in the first place. Would that be fair?
I think it's not necessarily a brief. I think it's more about realization. So it's actually making their dreams and what likes and dislikes, putting it together in a different kind of package and showing how it can be, and then coming together with a final end result.
Okay, so you communicate with them and sit down with them, obviously, and try and talk to them about the various needs that they require. So it's not just about what the things that they might want in the apartment, it's about how they aspire to live in the apartment.
So, and how that all comes together. And also, it's adding different layers of things that they can envision and bringing that forward in a really exciting way. So it's specialty finishes, for instance. We've done a beautiful bronze detailed wall in the living area that we've gotten specially from New York City. So it's kind of bringing in those elements of surprise and different detail qualities.
So in terms of working with the client then, how do you motivate them through that process? Because, I mean, these things take time.
They do take
so you
time.
You can get tired as a client for a project, a building project. So how do you keep them energised?
Well, what we kind of do is a process of workshops and meetings and kind of let them at the beginning play along with us with the fabrics, get involved. And I think by keeping them involved in all of the processes, by the end they feel one and connected. And it's a personal touch in the end, and it feels home to them.
So it's not the sort of the star architect thing. They're part of the process.
Exactly.
You can't dictate.
Exactly.
You have to collaborate.
Exactly, and that's how we work quite strongly. Yeah.
And what happens if you do dictate? How would that fall short?
I think then you'll lose the sight to understand your brief, your client, and also you'll lose the uniqueness of the design. You'll just have a cookie cutter design space that doesn't have that lovely, luxurious, unique feel.
Say a project like this for a private client, which is an apartment in Belgravia, as opposed to, let's say, Hotel Budapest, very different type of client, very different way of working. Can you describe what that is and the balance of getting those two right?
I would say that the different way of working with the hotel is you have operational standards. You also have a very high spec that you have to work with because of the nature of the different projects, whereas residential, you can have a little bit more play. It doesn't have to be hard wearing and proof of everything. So it's a little bit more explorative and a little bit more fun to work with the residential clients. But in bearing in mind they both have their own challenges, so I think you just have to kind of deal with them as a day-to-day and in different ways, but quite similar.
Christy Younger, it's fantastic to meet you from Goddard Littlefair. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.